The Employee Retention Credit from the IRS is the last major COVID relief program. Claim up to $26,000 for each employee you had on payroll. This is Marty Stewart with Disaster Loan Advisors. The IRS tax refund is newfound money for your business. Let us help you navigate the ERC program with flexible options and working together. You can relax and have peace of mind that you're in good hands. Stay safe, stay compliant, and keep more of your refund. Take the next step and schedule a free ERC consultation call with us today.
Employee retention credit for manufacturers. The COVID-19 pandemic has hit the manufacturing industry hard, disrupting supply chains and operations. To aid recovery, the Employee Retention Credit, ERC, offers financial relief for eligible manufacturers. Apply for the ERC tax refund based on the 2020 and 2021 quarters in 2023, 2024, and 2025. Determine eligibility by considering pandemic-related restrictions and the extent of their impact on your business. What is the Employee Retention Credit for manufacturers? The Employee Retention Credit, ERC, provides financial support to eligible manufacturers by offering a refundable payroll tax credit based on qualified wages paid during the pandemic. For 2020, the credit covers 50% of wages paid between March 12th and December 31st, while for 2021, it covers 70% of wages paid between January 1st and September 30th. Introduced under the CARES Act, the ERC aims to help small and mid-sized businesses, including manufacturers, retain employees and prevent layoffs. Note that the credit is applicable only to wages paid before October 1st, 2021, with some exceptions for recovery startup businesses until January 1st, 2022. How does the Employee Retention Credit work for manufacturers? The ERC program has evolved over time, making it challenging for manufacturers to determine eligibility and credit amounts. To claim the Employee Retention Tax Credit, businesses must verify eligibility, calculate credit amounts, and submit IRS Form 941X. The process has changed since the closure of Form 720, which was previously used for ERC. Employers can apply for the ERC for qualifying quarters up to 3 years after the Paycheck Protection Program, PPP, ended. To claim the credit, manufacturers must provide documentation confirming the pandemic's adverse effects on their business and maintain accurate payroll records. To maximize the tax credit, identify eligible calendar quarters, employees, wages, and payments, or schedule a free consultation with experts to determine maximum qualified wages for 2020 and 2021. Is my manufacturing company eligible for the Employee Retention Credit? Eligibility requirements for manufacturers. Manufacturing companies can qualify for the Employee Retention Credit, ERC, if they meet specific criteria, such as full or partial suspension of operations due to government orders, significant decline in gross receipts, and number of employees. Additionally, eligibility can be determined by pandemic-related factors like reduction in output, disruption of operations, supply chain delays, capacity limits due to social distancing, or inability to work with vendors. Companies that were completely closed due to COVID-19 government orders may also be eligible for the ERC. How to calculate the Employee Retention Credit for manufacturing companies. To calculate the Employee Retention Credit for manufacturing companies, first determine the total gross wages paid in a quarter. Consider 3 types of compensation: wages paid, FICA tax compensation, and health insurance premium expenses. Ensure wages were paid to employees continuously employed between March 12, 2020 and September 30, 2021. Don't include wage expenses funded by PPP loans. The government provides different payment amounts for 2020, up to 50% of the first $10,000 of qualified wages, and 2021, 70% of the first $10,000 in qualified wages per quarter per employee. Payroll expenses for each employee can reach up to $26,000 when combining the costs for 2020 and 2021. How can manufacturers claim the Employee Retention Credit? Manufacturers can claim the Employee Retention Credit by ensuring they meet the eligibility criteria and submitting the application before the deadline, which varies depending on the company's previous quarters from 2020 and 2021. To receive the ERC, manufacturers should fill out a paper version of Form 941X for the eligible quarters and mail it to the IRS, as electronic submission is not available for this form. To maximize ERC tax refund benefits, especially if your company received SBA PPP loan funds during rounds 1 or 2, it's recommended to consult with an ERC tax refund consultant for proper deduction in accordance with IRS guidelines. How can manufacturing company owners use the employee retention credit to their advantage? Manufacturing company owners can use the employee retention credit to their advantage in various ways. Restore your supply chain. Invest in improving your supply chain by sourcing materials from different regions, negotiating better contracts, and investing in technology to improve efficiency. Employee training and development. Utilize the ERC for high-quality training and development programs for your employees, preparing them for their job duties, boosting morale, and improving productivity. Rekindle relationships with vendors. Improve relationships with vendors by negotiating better contracts, offering rewards for timely delivery, and cultivating long-term partnerships. Cover additional business expenses or development purposes. Use the ERC for expenses such as purchasing equipment, upgrading your website, developing marketing campaigns, or paying for professional services. Hire more employees to increase production capacity. Utilize the ERC to hire more workers and increase your production capacity to meet the increased demand for your products. Support your production company with the ERC. Use the ERC to offset expenses like employee wages and health benefits, resulting in tax savings and helping keep your business running. Give bonuses or incentive payments to employees. Show appreciation for employees' hard work during the pandemic by using ERC credits to issue bonuses, incentives, or extra vacation days. Freedom to use ERC tax refund, with no limitations on where the funds can be allocated. You have the flexibility to utilize the ERC tax refund to cover any expenses your company requires. Case study of the employee retention credit in action. A manufacturing company experienced a decline in sales revenue due to the pandemic and initially believed they were ineligible for the employee retention credit, ERC, due to a misunderstanding with their CPA. After seeking advice from ERC tax professionals, they discovered they were indeed eligible and claimed a total of $652,035 in ERC credits for 2020 and 2021. This financial relief was crucial for the company's production, as it helped them cover increasing expenses in the industry, such as wages and delivery services. The case study highlights the importance of understanding the potential advantages of the ERC for manufacturing businesses to remain competitive and sustainable in the long term. How can manufacturing company owners maximize the benefits of the employee retention credit? Maintain thorough records of employee wages and eligible expenses. Understand qualified wages and eligible expenses. Verify eligibility based on closures, limitations, or revenue reduction. Determine eligible wage date ranges. Understand ERC affiliation rules for affiliated businesses. Learn ERC calculations and consult with an ERC expert for accuracy. 11 common mistakes to avoid with the ERC claim process for production companies. Miscounting employees by overlooking part-timers. Believing ERC is only for essential businesses. Assuming PPP loan recipients cannot claim ERC. Incorrectly believing insufficient revenue drops disqualify eligibility. Estimating ERC credit amount without accurate calculations. Self-disqualifying or delaying consultation with an ERC tax specialist. Improper documentation for ERC claim. Reporting wages on non-qualified quarters, assuming ineligibility due to remaining open during the pandemic, paying a percentage fee for ERC refund, which is prohibited by the IRS, failing to consult with a qualified ERC specialist with expertise in accounting, tax advisory, and ERTC tax credits. Which manufacturing industries are eligible for the ERTC program? The following industry sectors can qualify for the ERTC program: aerospace and defense, apparel, beverages, chemicals, communications equipment, computers and other electronic products, electrical equipment and appliances, fabricated metal products, food, furniture and fixtures, instruments, machinery, medical instruments and equipment, miscellaneous, motor vehicle parts, motor vehicles, paper, petroleum and coal products, pharmaceuticals, plastics, primary metals, publishing and printing, rail cars, ships, and other equip, rubber products, stone, clay, glass and concrete products, textiles, tobacco, wood products, non-metallic mineral product manufacturing, fabricated metal product manufacturing, transportation equipment manufacturing, If your company is subject to government regulations and is involved in any aspect of production, it's highly likely that it meets the eligibility requirements, as many types of manufacturers and manufacturing businesses qualify. Conclusion and summary of manufacturers' employee retention tax credits. In conclusion, to be eligible for the employee retention credit, manufacturers must maintain accurate records, including payroll documents and evidence of eligible wages paid each quarter. Proper documentation is essential to support ERC claims. It is recommended that companies consult with an ERC advisor if they have any questions or concerns. If a manufacturing company meets the qualifications, the ERTC program can provide valuable tax credits that lead to significant refunds, helping businesses negatively affected by the pandemic. This program offers assistance and provisions that could result in a refund of up to $26,000. Disaster loan advisors can assist your manufacturing company with the complex and confusing employee retention credit, ERC, and employee retention tax credit, ERTC program without you having to sacrifice an excessive percentage of your hard-earned ERC refund.
As you can see, navigating the Employee Retention Credit Program is very complex and confusing to try to figure it out on your own. Even on the IRS ERC FAQ pages, it says this page is not current. There have been several years of updates and changes to this IRS tax credit already, including 4 congressional acts and 5 updated guidances from the IRS, totaling over 3,900 pages. Who has time to sift through all that information, let alone decipher some of the confusing language and rulings? In order to stay compliant with current IRS ERC rules and regulations, expert specialized help is highly recommended. Even if your business received an SBA PPP loan, you are still eligible for the ERC credit. If you think you may not qualify, it's worth a conversation to see if your business does. Let us assist you with a complete employee retention credit process, or if you might be stuck on filling out the IRS 941X forms correctly on your own. We are here to help. Stay safe, stay compliant, keep more of your refund. Email us at support@disasterloanadvisors.com or call us toll-free at 877-463-9777 extension 3. Or visit us on the web at www.disasterloanadvisors.com/ERC for complete details on the Employee Retention Credit Program for your business.